He said goodbye to Draco Malfoy over a decade ago. But just when we thought the doors of Hogwarts were closed for good, Tom Felton walked right back through them. Not in a reboot, not in a reunion, but live, on stage, in a move no one saw coming. And here's the twist. It wasn't just about playing a character. Because what happened behind the scenes, the tears, the fan reactions, the unexpected drama, it proved one thing. Tom Felton never really left Hogwarts. But what brought him back now? And why does this comeback matter more than any movie reboot? Let's break it down. Tom Felton shocked the wizarding world when he announced his return, not to a movie set, but to the stage of Broadway. For the first time ever, an original cast member from the Harry Potter films is reprising their role in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, the blockbuster stage play that's captivated audiences for nearly a decade. The date, November 2025. The location, New York City. The role, an older, more complex Draco Malfoy, a father now battling shadows from his past while raising the next generation of wizards. It's a historic moment, not just for fans, but for the franchise. No other actor from the films, not Radcliffe, not Watson, not Grint, has ever returned to play their character in this universe again. And Felton didn't just sign on for a cameo, he's leading the production for 4 full months, from November 11th through March 22nd, a serious commitment that shows this wasn't a half-hearted nostalgia trip. He's all in. In interviews, Felton described the decision as a homecoming. He didn't hesitate when asked. The opportunity felt right, not just professionally, but emotionally. He called the play a continuation of his journey and said he felt honored to bring Draco's arc full circle. But stepping back into Hogwarts wasn't as easy as putting on a cloak, because the moment he put on the wig, he broke down. When Tom Felton slipped back into character, it wasn't just an actor getting back into costume. It was muscle memory, emotion, and something much deeper than anyone expected. The moment he put on Draco's signature platinum blonde wig, he teared up. In his own words, it hit me like a wave. Not just the look, but the weight of it all. The memories, the pressure, the millions of people who grew up watching him become the villain. And then, slowly, something more. He was no longer that teenage boy on a green screen set. He was stepping into the shoes of a father, a mentor, a character still haunted by the past, but trying to do better for the next generation. And in a way, it mirrored Felton's own growth. He even admitted it felt surreal to hear the familiar lines spoken live, from a script he didn't write, but that somehow knew him better than he expected. This wasn't a paycheck gig, this was personal, and while the wig brought back the past, it was a moment with a fan that reminded him just how much Draco Malfoy still mattered. Just days after the announcement hit the internet, the reactions poured in, and one of them caught everyone's attention. A young girl, no older than 10, found out Tom Felton was returning as Draco Malfoy. She didn't scream, she wept, not out of fear, but pure joy. In a video shared online, she's seen clutching her face, tears rolling down her cheeks, whispering, "Draco's back. He's really back." The clip went viral. And Felton? He saw it. Instead of ignoring it or tossing it a quick like, he did something most celebrities wouldn't. He responded directly. In a heartfelt message, he told her, "I'll be thinking of you every night I'm on that stage." It wasn't a publicity stunt, it was genuine. Because for Felton, it wasn't just about revisiting a role, it was about reconnecting with a generation that grew up with him. He's not just playing Draco for nostalgia, he's playing him for the kids who saw themselves in misunderstood characters. The ones who realized that villains aren't always evil. Sometimes they're just broken. And yet, for all the love he received, there was also backlash. While fans were celebrating Felton's return, a quiet tension began to rise beneath the surface. Because no matter how magical Hogwarts feels, there's no escaping the shadow of J.K. Rowling. In recent years, the author has faced intense backlash for her views, sparking heated debates across the Harry Potter fandom. And when Tom announced his comeback, many were waiting to see where he stood. Would he distance himself? Would he speak out? Or would he stay silent? Felton's response? Surprisingly balanced. He didn't attack, he didn't defend. Instead, he simply said he was forever grateful for the world Rowling created. He acknowledged that Hogwarts brought people together, gave millions a sense of belonging, including himself. But when pressed on her controversial comments, he admitted he wasn't fully up to speed, and didn't want to speak on topics he didn't fully understand. Some saw that as diplomacy, others saw it as dodging, but one thing was clear: Felton was focused on the story, not the headlines. And for him, stepping back into Draco wasn't about the politics behind the curtain. It was about what the character still meant to people standing in the audience. Even as debates raged online, a much bigger shift was quietly happening in the wizarding world. Tom Felton's return didn't happen in a vacuum. Just months before he announced his Broadway run, HBO made headlines with their massive reveal. A complete reboot of the Harry Potter series, a decade-long project aiming to retell all 7 books with a brand new cast. And guess what? It reignited everything. Suddenly, fans were rewatching old clips, fan pages were exploding with theories, and the internet was buzzing with one burning question: could the original cast return in any form? So when Felton stepped up, not for a cameo, but to fully be Draco again, it didn't feel like coincidence. It felt like the first domino, a subtle signal that the wizarding world wasn't just alive, it was evolving. Some fans began speculating: was this a test run for the Cursed Child movie? Would Felton be the first to bridge the gap between the original films and the new generation? Warner Brothers hasn't confirmed anything, but the timing, suspiciously perfect. And Felton hasn't shut the door either. In interviews, he's hinted that he'd be open to returning to the screen, even joking he'd be happy to appear in the reboot as a background character if it meant being part of the magic again. But behind the charm and humor, there's something deeper going on. Because for Felton, it was never about fame. If you strip away the lights, the wigs, and the Hogwarts crest, what's left is a man who never wanted to be a superstar. Tom Felton has always had a different energy than the rest of the original cast. While some pursued big Hollywood roles or disappeared from the spotlight entirely, Felton carved his own path, one filled with music, poetry, indie films, and quiet reflection. And through it all, he never resented Draco. In fact, he embraced him. He wrote about him in his memoir. He engaged with fans on social media. He even showed up at fan events and theme parks with genuine excitement, never faking it, never cashing in. His return to the Cursed Child wasn't about reliving glory days. It was about reclaiming a piece of himself. Because Draco's story, a kid raised with the wrong values trying to figure out who he really is, isn't just fiction for Felton. It mirrors his own battles with identity, pressure, and purpose. He once said, "I used to want to escape Draco. Now I realize he helped me grow." That's the difference. He's not just acting anymore, he's evolving, both as a performer and as a person, and bringing the audience along for that journey. And in doing so, he's proven something powerful. Draco Malfoy didn't need redemption in the books, he found it in real life. So no, Tom Felton never really left Hogwarts, because Hogwarts isn't just a castle, it's a symbol of growth, of second chances, of finding yourself, even when the world sees you as the villain. And while the robes may be new and the stage lights a little brighter, the heart of Draco Malfoy and the man behind him is still very much the same. This comeback isn't just about magic wands and childhood nostalgia. It's about legacy and what it means to return not as who you were, but as who you've become. So the question now is, if Draco's story isn't over, what spell does he cast next? Let us know in the comments. Would you watch a Cursed Child movie with the original cast? And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because this isn't the last secret Hogwarts has to offer.